Okay. Appreciate everybody showing up. Since our last game, I had a couple chances to talk, and first I shared my feelings about our team and about the organization and representing the 12s and my intentions of staying with the Hawks, man. And that was true to the bone. And I want to make sure that that's clear as things have shifted so quickly in most people's perspective. It's been an honor and a thrill to be part of this program, and I've loved every minute of it. And you've watched me love it, in particular. And it's exciting that there's such a future here, and you can see it. And we know what's happening, and it's bright, and the club's got great places to go, and there's great chances. It don't ever happen automatically. There's a lot of work to be done and all of that, but the future is bright. And following our season-ending meetings with ownership in the planning sessions, it's clear that and for a variety of reasons, we have mutually agreed to set a new course and for the club to take on new leadership. And that's just a decision that's been made, and there's a lot that went into that and a lot that went behind that. And for all my guys, I think you know how much I probably competed for our perspective and our standpoint and all of that. I freaking didn't back off for an instant. And what's going to happen now is the process will start to get new leadership here, and then that'll be on Johnny's docket. He's going to get after that and make that happen with help of ownership and all that, and we'll be supporting them as much as possibly can happen so that they can do a great job with it. I'm so grateful to the coaches that have been with us for so many years. Also, all of the coaches that have been here for the years before that put up with my stuff and found way, to bring it to life daily. And I have great gratitude for that. Really, it was really, and I go to it's not just the dedication and the loyalty, it's the freaking juice. It's bringing it. And I asked a lot of them, and they were good at it, and I appreciate that a lot. I'm so sorry. I'm so heartfully sorry for the families. Y'all don't realize how deep this runs. It's just going next coach, next staff, what's going to happen, what's the future and all that. There's people in this thing, and it breaks my heart that so many people get shocked and adjusted and surprised and all of that, and the children, and we have so many kids in this organization that we love so much and we celebrate whenever we get our chance. It breaks my heart that we're dealing with that, but that is what happens, and that's part of this business and part of a lot of businesses. It's not unique just to us. To the players that have been part of this thing, you don't probably know this, how deeply I feel about the NFL is about the players. And we've not recognized that to my satisfaction. I brought it up at the league meetings a few years ago and probably surprised some people about it. But this league is about the players. And without those guys doing what they do, there's nothing. It isn't about the ownership. It's not about the coaching. It's not about the color of the uniforms or going to the stadiums. It's about those guys doing what they do and putting their body on the line so regularly. And it's not just a statement. It's real. We should always, in my opinion, understand that we should celebrate those guys because they are the NFL. They are this game that we love and the game we get to coach. Who would I be coaching, And I have a lot of thoughts about that, but I really do appreciate it. And to see some of our guys here today, it means the world. It means the world. I want to remind us, I guess, one time about the work. Yeah, tons of work. Dedication, all that hard stuff that we do with coaches and players to get to what we can get to, but it's really always been about the fun. And Wags, you've always been the guy that always reminds us that if you ain't doing it right, you're not having any fun at all. And I appreciate you keeping me connected to that. It's pretty inherent to me too. We're birds of a feather in that regard. But I also, Bobby, is I appreciate you and T-Lock and Gino that have kept me connected to our former players. That's a really important part of this relationship of being a coach, and particularly in this program where we've been there for so long and so many souls have come through. Having you guys with me all the way through this time and I always feel like I'm a little bit connected to those guys, and I don't ever want to lose that connection because I'm so indebted to all of the time we spent and the things that we did. I'm so proud of really seeing the young men grow up and take off in their lives and doing their things and owning businesses and families and kids and the whole thing. It's a great joy for a coach. But I appreciate you keeping me connected to that. I got to thank Jody and unfortunately Paul not, but the family was really classy at all times, and they supported what we were doing. I felt the support faithfully throughout, and grateful for that. It's a nice relationship here with the ownership, and it's as good as it can get from my perspective. Maybe harder on personnel guys sometimes, Johnny, but always so good. And to Johnny Snyder, way back in the day when I first got the job here, they wanted to know if I wanted to be the general manager. And I said no, but I'd like to hire him. And Paul said okay, and we got John on board. And from the first moment that we really, now we're going to do this, we stepped off to the side, and I gave John a big hug. I said, we're getting married, dude, and I'm going to help you be the greatest general manager in the history of the league, if I could. And you took 14 years to get to it, and I'm so proud. I'm so excited for you to have this opportunity. It's going to be cool, and it's always been a great marriage, and it's just unforgettable, and I'm just so grateful for that. And going forward, I'll be your biggest fan now, dude. I'll be there. I'll be right there for you. I've been blessed with like the rarest of best friends and mentor, loving partner, the angel in my life. This is worth crying for. Glenn, and nobody would ever understand how significant she's been through all of the stuff that we've been through, and how important she is. As she's just been the angel in my life, and I owe you everything. My boys, Brendan and Nate, you guys would have no idea how valuable they've been to me, because they were the ones that would give me all the crap about what I was doing wrong or what I was screwing up. They were harsh, and their critiques were rash, and the whole thing, it was perfect because I needed that loyalty, and they were the epitome of it for me, and I'm forever grateful. They know, but I don't mind saying it to you, because it's hard to be that deeply loyal. It's hard to tell people what they don't want to hear and what they need to hear, and it's rare to have people around you that are willing to do that, particularly when you get in this kind of position. And it's so necessary to do well and do right. So fellas, I love the hell out of that. Jamie and the crew, my daughter and all our husbands and wives, and our 7+ kids. We got one on the way coming in April, making Glenn and I the proudest grandma and grandpa you can be. Really grateful to those kiddies that put up with Grandpa's crazy stuff, because you can imagine I'm a pretty whacked out grandpa. And I just want to say this, that one of the things I'm most proud of in getting here is way back in the day when I called Tater and said, hey, we got a chance to go to Seattle, man, and how about we take a shot and get up there, and maybe 2-3 years they'll give us a chance, and then they'll kick us out of here, and we'll see what happens, But I'd like to take the culture that we had at SC and see what happens. And he said, hey, of course, Tater is always on board. Heck yeah, let's go. And 14 years later, man, we're both still shocked by that, but we're grateful for it as well. But what I am most proud of is that we took a culture that we developed there in those college days and came here to see if you cared for people deeply and you loved them for who they were and tried to find the extraordinary uniqueness that made them them, and celebrate that, and not try to make them something that they're not, and not try to expect them to be something other than that, but try to see if we can capture that extraordinary uniqueness that they had, and celebrate that with them. Let's see what happens. Well, at SC, we killed it. And we came up here, and overall, we've been successful for a long time. I didn't think any way that this would happen like this. I didn't have that vision. But I'm grateful for it, because what we have here, we have an extraordinary culture. And I'm really proud of that. The guys that are here know. Guys that come here and leave know. Guys that haven't been here before and they show up here, they're shocked. And really, that happens because you guys continue to celebrate it and keep it going, and I'm able to keep calling on you guys to illustrate what it's all about. And this is a very special place because of all of that, and I'm grateful for that. The one last part of that I wanted to say is that what it's always been behind the culture is trying to help people find their best, and one person at a time. And it works. It's real. And you can feel it. And I'm really grateful for that. So we learned something here. It was a total experiment. It was a dictator. We had no idea. But you guys are examples of how that worked out. So I love you and appreciate that. So that's it for now. And I'm freaking jacked. I'm fired up. I'm not tired. I'm not worn down. You guys tried your best. You didn't wear me out. It's the end of the season. I'm supposed to be, go lay on a cot somewhere. I ain't feeling like that. And, there's what's coming. I don't know. I got no idea. And I really don't care right now. But I do. I'm excited about it because there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to study. There's some great discoveries that are going to come our way. And as my all-time mentor, Bud Grant, said, not in so many words, there's rivers to wade, there's waves to catch, and there's mountains to hike. And it wasn't exactly how Bud said it, but I get it. And there's some cool stuff that we're going to do here. And I look forward to all that. So with that, go. What do you got?
The statement indicated that you're still going to be around the organization. You've still got some work to do here. What does that entail?
We're going to figure that out. We don't really know right now. But I'm grateful for the intention that, that the organization has, to try to find something that makes sense. So we'll see. I don't know.
What went into the decision to step back, or I guess agree to step back and not be the coach? Why did you agree to do that?
Well, I competed pretty hard to be the coach. Just so you know, because I just wanted to make sure that I stood up for all of our coaches and the players and the things that we had accomplished, and not so that we could be the coach still, but so that we could continue to have a chance to be successful and keep the organization going. That's what I was fighting for. So I in that regard, that was what I was representing in our discussions, and we got to a good part, a good clean spot where it made sense, and I went along with their intentions.
Do you feel like the team could take the next step forward and
There's no doubt. There's no doubt in my mind. Yeah, and we all know that.
You sounded pretty confident Sunday and Monday that you would continue in the coaching role. Can you walk us through what the last couple of days have been like?
Just that we had our year-ending meetings with ownership and planning sessions with Johnny and just talking through stuff, getting ready, and it takes us to the point where you get to what's next. And this isn't about me being the head coach. It's about this organization being successful and being on course for the long haul of it as well. And I realize that. I mean, I'm about as old as you can get in this business, and there's coming a time they got to make some decisions. And so, moving towards the future, if there's some way that I can add something to them down the road, we'll see what happens. But this is a good move for them, and Johnny's going to take this thing, take the bull by the horns, and roll. And I'm so thankful that I get to see him take that next step and watch what he does with it. He's going to kick butt.
Can you be more specific about that decision?
No. No. I can't. I'm not going to.
What are you going to miss most about coaching?
The chance of being in one of those parades. Yeah, the thrill of a lifetime was being in that parade, and for our fans and the people and all that. And that's. I don't know, who's to say? I don't know what's going to happen next. I'm not sure about that. But that pursuit to the greatness of the moment that you celebrate with everybody, ain't nothing like it. So it's worth fighting for.
If the right opportunity to become a head coach?
We'll have to wait and see. Today's about today. I don't know that.
What was different between your vision and theirs?
That's what I'm not sharing. It wasn't because, it wasn't special to you, no.
Back in 2010, before you were in coaching game,
2010, okay.
so you said you wanted to disprove the idea that you can't have fun coaching football this level while still competing like crazy in your game. How much pride do you take that you were able to do it the way you wanted?
It wasn't very hard. It wasn't very hard for us, and I mean, that's just been the way we've always done it. But It's been mistaken and misunderstood, I think, a lot that, we missed the point and, we don't realize the sincerity of it. That ain't what's happening around here. That's not how we do it. There's plenty of room to have the fun if you have an eye for it and if you appreciate it, and that's why Bobby is so important as one of the players that always reminds us, if you're not having fun, we're missing it, and I've said it, if we're not having fun, I'm totally screwing up. That's what I've always felt. And so, it's a constant. It's part of it. It's part of making the environment that you work in alive and sometimes uncertain. You don't know what to expect from what's going to happen next. It's like going. Okay, well, keep going. It's like going into your high school class, maybe it was a history class, and you had a teacher that was really unique. The music was playing, or there was something going on, and you could hear it as you're walking down the hall, and you couldn't wait to see what was going on that day. That's what this learning environment was supposed to be like. That every day you had to come in and you didn't know what was going to happen, and because I needed to keep you at the very peak of your awareness and focus and all that. So that was just part of it.
Was there a moment or a game or a player that you knew that approach had taken hold, and you knew
That's
that
good.
it was working?
That's a good question. No, I don't know that, Jen. I don't know that there was a moment. There was times back in the day. I realized back at SC, that we had something special, and because we were continuing to, we won so much they ruined me for life. It's hard to imagine when you can win 3 straight years, every game, keep coming back, summer times, the off season, all that stuff, and it wrecks you. I did want to say this too. There's never enough wins. There's just never enough. You win 15, you won 16. You won 16, you won 17. You won them all. And that's it's a curse, but it's also the blessing because it drives you in such manner. So.
But was there something in the NFL, like when you got to this team, where you knew that your approach had taken hold?
Let's give this the moment. If there's a moment, it was when we had the opportunity to play New Orleans. We're 7-9. Everybody's dogging us and all that about, you don't deserve to be there. And they're the world champions, and then we beat them right here. And we beat them in fashion, in style. And I think that was because we were talking like we were going to win that game, and nobody else thought we could ever win that game. And we went out there and put together, an effort that separated us, I think. And we were never the same from that point forward. So thank you for reminding me about that.
How were you able to keep the culture evolving then through all the years after you established?
No, you better ask these guys. I don't know. It's constant. It's a constant competition for me, and it's like everything else is. And so you compete on a regular, everyday basis. Brian Ayers and I trying to figure out what's next for the guys. How can we keep them going? And whether it was contests or shoot-offs or safe places or whatever it took, to just find ways to make it interesting and keep them guessing. Teaching environment. It's teaching, so we're trying to keep the students alive and thriving and in the moments and all that. So it's a huge endeavor.
Coach, can you explain why it was so difficult over the last 2 or 3 years to stay so consistent? 2 steps forward, maybe 1 step back.
We didn't. We lost our edge really, and the edge to be great, which was really how we ran the football and how we played defense. It wasn't as good as it needed to be, and. Y'all got tired of me thinking I'm 3 yards in a cloud of dust. You guys don't get it, and I'm sorry about that, but it's all part of the whole cycle of what you do when you put a football team together. And we weren't as clear in the last couple of years. And, it was just 3 years ago or 4 years ago, the 4 and 3 years ago, I think we were first in the league in rushing defense and 5th or 6th in rushing defense or something like that. We had back-to-back years there, which was one of the elements that you need. You need some special qualities about your team that separate you and make you an individual. And we kind of got in the mix too much. We weren't high-profiled enough in the crucial areas that we needed to be. So it was just always a pursuit. We're always chasing it and trying to get there.
When you go back and look at why you didn't have that edge, why you couldn't do those in those areas, is there something that you think
Yeah. I'm not going to share that with you.
Have you talked to the team at all? Have you just sort of
No, these guys, we talked Monday, and, I said a lot of things Monday that I needed to say, but no, I'm looking forward to seeing them as we go forward.
When you addressed them Monday, did you know this was
No,
Thank you for the last 14 years, Steve.
appreciate that.
What advice would you give, having been in this very unique position for the last 14 years, what would be your advice for anybody who comes in and sits in the same
You want me to tell the next guy how to win? Yeah, well, it wouldn't matter whether it's football or whatever. To me, the essence of being as good as you can be is you got to figure out who you are. And you got to figure out that in a relentless effort to try and get clear about what's important to you, what uncompromising principles do you stand by, what makes you who you are, so that if you don't go through that process, you don't do the self-discovery, then you don't have an opportunity to be your best because you don't know who you are yet. And so it's really hard for our young guys because they're just figuring it out. But as they come through our time, the time they get 25, 26, we see the development. But for anybody, you have to understand what kind of player you are, you understand what kind of coach you are, you understand what kind of person you are, what kind of dad you are, and all the way down the line to maximize your authenticity and being connected to that true essence of who you are. That's what's crucial. Without that, you're going to be sometimes and you're going to be sometimes. That's why, people don't. It's hard to be consistently successful because people don't even know how they got there. A lot of times, it just happens kind of along the way. Circumstances come together and all. So that's to me the essence of it. That's how I understand it.
You mentioned a couple times that you thought maybe only 3 or 4 years. You'd have 3 or 4 years when you got here. If then when you got the job, if you could have looked at what you ended up doing in
Yes.
15 years and a Super Bowl and all that, how would you have thought at that time of what this was?
I'm thrilled that we've had this run. I really am. The level of consistency that we've demonstrated is such to make you proud. It's hard to do what we've done. It's hard to win as we have. It's hard to be considered a threat as we have throughout all of the years we've been here. No matter where we go on the road or what, all of those special qualities about our teams and how we play on the road, how we play on Monday nights, how we, all that kind of stuff. How Gino showed again the great finishing ability this team has and the mentality that it takes to do that. Drew did it as well. I mean, all of those special qualities are what makes it up. And yes.
Do you have a favorite moment over your time here?
Yeah. My favorite moment was standing on the stage at the in New York and finding Glenn out in the crowd. That was it, by far.
Pete, I know I asked you last week, but I'm wondering if you could elaborate on the yin and yang, as you called it, in your last year of coaching, rookie Pro Bowler, and obviously one of the best players of all time, your Pro Bowlers, in the same year.
Yeah, I like the is that a dichotomy? I don't know what that is. I don't know tell me what that is. Yeah, I said yin and yang, and I didn't know what that meant either. But just to see the ends of the spectrum so obviously illustrated, but also to see Julian in between too, and Julian's response, who was just totally devastated because he knew what happened. Like Spoon didn't know. He didn't realize what, to him it was just like, oh, this is awesome. But for a guy to realize he'd been around for 3 or 4 years and then to be recognized as a Pro Bowler, and then for Bobby to kind of absorb that thought again that I'm still on top of this thing and for the moment. And I know he's not that egotistical about it, but he did recognize, I'm sure, again, and with great pride. It's what makes him who he is. It makes him a freaking ridiculous performer and all that. But yeah, that was really exciting to see that, and it was just so obvious, and I was in Mo Kelly's office, and we just sat there, and I'm just watching these guys respond. I'm just sitting on the couch there, and just watching them as they're, realizing, each other and themselves and what this means, and that was really, really special.
Why do you think you and John were able to make the arrangement work so well for so long?
Because it was the most important thing in the whole program. It's the relationship between the head coach and the general manager that have to make all. This is my opinion. That have to make these decisions and have to put in motion the approach and the philosophy and how it's going to succeed and how to correct and get back, course correct and all the things you have to do. That relationship has to be, in my opinion, and I'd seen it so many times in so many other situations I've been in, that there was just 2 guys, they go get a hot shot from here and a hot shot from here and they expect them to go together, which they might make it, and without the appreciation of what that relationship is, you miss it, and you falter in the course of the exchanges that you have and the decisions that you make. Because what's most important that we were together. It wasn't the actual decision, is that we could find a common ground and then move together and then go make it work as best we could. And it didn't always work, but we we understood how we got there. We appreciated one another's input on the deal. And I had to say so, but Johnny made millions of decisions here because he was great at making those decisions. And so, in my opinion, we just had to figure it out, and I had to lean for him. He had to lean for me, and we were willing to put ourselves, the individuals, behind what the marriage was all about. And so, I mean, I don't mean to be teaching other franchises how to do it, but that's what I think is the key. And whether you're in basketball or wherever you are in baseball, it's those relationships, and that's just so that you can maximize what each guy has. I'm trying to help him be great. He's trying to help me be great, and nothing else was important. That was it. And so, as screwy as we got, and we have a kind of a saying, got to give a brother some slack, because we screwed up. We made mistakes a lot, and we had to cover for each other and all that, but we did. And I know we're both really proud of that.
You mentioned you're going to be rooting for him now. How excited are you just to see what John does at this point?
Oh, no, it's why this happened. You want to know? Because I wanted him to have this chance. It's been 14 years. He's been sitting there waiting for his opportunity, and he deserves it. And he's great at what he does. And now he's going to find out. We'll find out, big fella. And he deserves this moment. And I was cheerleading for him. And if there's nothing else that was part of this factor, that was the biggest factor from my input. Somebody asked the question, and I gave you the answer. It was to help make sure that he could have this opportunity, and he's going to go for it, and I would do whatever I could to help him be successful. Still.
What do you want to be remembered for as the fiance? What do you hope?
Roy Hobbs. Yeah, I wish. What I'd like to be remembered like Roy Hobbs. There goes Roy Hobbs, the best there ever was. I wish it could be like that. Nobody has a clue what that relates to. Yeah.
You had a couple years left on your contract, I think. Was it your intention to coach out through?
Yeah, I mean, no. Let me clarify. No, it wasn't my intention. It's just that's kind of what's happening. But I always thought we would maximize, and we would always go to the next. And David Brooks taught me a long time ago about the 5-year plan. Keep looking ahead 5 years. Each year you go 5 instead of looking at what am I going to do at the end of this year. That there's always 5 years out there, and it gave me a perspective well back in time that helped me understand how to keep projecting and not be so short-term dependent on and judgmental.
You mentioned the veteran guys connecting you to the past. What did it mean to you that over the years you have KJ coming around, Cliff, Sherm,
Doug, Sherm, Marshawn,
the way everyone stayed
Cliff,
connected to it?
Mike B, Big Red, all those guys, man. I mean, those real dude, Banger. I mean, so many guys, that were part of, Mikey Morgan, part of where we were, that we weren't anything, and then we were something, and we made something special. The run that we had, the 5 or 6 year run of playing defense around here, was like historic, and it was because of the players and the scheme and the coaches fit together. We had to fit together almost perfectly to maximize all of it because we weren't very complicated. We did stuff really, really, really well, and that's the essence of football. But we had a run of it that just made us kind of just bond in a way that these guys know it'll never go away. It's just something that they'll live with, which is a very special part of the game that sometimes happens.
Pete, what can the NFL do better to celebrate players and value the relationship?
God, appreciate you asking that question. I brought this up years ago to the league and right to the top of the league that, what the heck, Dave, I can go ahead and do this whole thing, right? What else are we going to do? I felt that the league could use direction to celebrate a new focus and that they were missing out on, and because we're into TVs and games and playoffs and all that kind of stuff, and free agency and all the things with contracts and all the things that happen, drafts and all that stuff. That's all part of the league. But the real part of the league that could give us real focus and direction is celebrating the players that make this game happen, and realize that and come to the understanding that you have no game without these guys, and you have no level of this game without our guys, and they deserve to be seen for that. What does that mean? Well, you're going to look after them. You're going to take care of them. You're going to see them through their careers the best way you can, make the decisions that always support their health and their welfare and their well-being and all that. That's part of it. But then as they come out of their careers, what are we doing for them? Do we let them go and now they're on their own? Or do we celebrate them from now on? Was it not worth a lifetime of support for those guys, and whatever that means? And there's so many ways to do that. When Dave Baker was at the Hall of Fame, I talked to Dave about this. Why could we not find ways to utilize our former players in ways all over the country and let them be ambassadors for the league and for sports and for achievement and for manhood and all the education and all the wonderful things that they could stand for, and just stay with them forever because they played the game. We got enough money. I think, there's enough money to do that and figure it out. But what we would create, why wouldn't we be creating superheroes for our young kids? I think you would. Something happens around the country, bam, here comes the NFL. And they show up on site, and they're like a SWAT team of support and love and understanding and all that. I thought there was so much to that, and it would change the perception of the league from outside in of that we understood what it's like to care. And I think the message of sending that and what that would mean, not to just to the young guys and the guys growing through their years, but to everybody that watches it. Everybody's watching the NFL, so why not do that? So I presented it and all, and it didn't go anywhere. But it was a cool thought, and whatever. So that one just went. Okay, what else we got?
Do you plan on having any input from your successors?
No, I have support to John. I'm supporting John.
Whatever your role is now next, what role would you have in choosing the next coach?
Say it again, the last part?
What role are you going to have choosing the next coach? Are they going to input or-
No, he just has to. No, that's not my deal. That's their deal.
What advice, you have this perfect memory, what advice would you give to a coach entering your role working with John?
Oh, geez, he's in trouble. He has no idea what he's getting into. Advice would just be to understand the value of the relationship and how crucial it is, because you are the team. You are all these decisions, and you impact so much from the salary cap and all of the the transfer of players and all. If you ever remember, what we did is we were going to compete at everything we did, every single opportunity, no matter where it was. That was a heartline of the philosophy, and always compete. And so John at every single turn, and I mean, Johnny, remember when we went after Marshawn, and how long it took us to get Marshawn? It took us weeks and weeks and weeks to keep calling him and keep going, and I keep pestering him about it. Get the heck out of here, leave me alone. And somewhere all of a sudden a conversation opened up, we had a chance, and we knew something special was there. And but had we just done the normal course of business, we'd have turned away and never stayed with it, but we kept battling, And so it's competing to help each other be great at what you're doing, And I mean, that's nothing new. That just happens to be, it's my relationship with John, but it's my relationship with Gino too. It's my relationship with Bobby too. That's the way I see the world, is that we're trying to help each other be as good as we can possibly be, whatever that takes, relentlessly, So that's what I would, tell them to do.
Maybe this is unfair to ask, but do you have any?
Probably is.
Do you have any regrets about anything from the last 14 years?
Yeah. Oh man, there's so many games. There's so many games. It's the games. Let's look at this season. We screwed it up and made Jason have to kick a 55-yard freaking field goal to beat the Rams, in the wind, in an indoor stadium that was windy somehow, or whatever it was. And I mean, how hard can you make it, and not winning the freaking Dallas game. Think of all the games we won in the exact same scenario. I think it's 3rd and 2 on about the 35 or something like that. We don't make that one. We don't make the 4th and 2. We let them off. We had them in our minds, and it just got away. So, I regret that, but there's millions of games. That's what I'm saying. There ain't enough wins. As a coach, there's not enough wins, and we know right now there's not enough wins this season, and it's a big challenge about doing this work.
If the Bears had won, you guys had got in again, do you think you'd be in this position? Or do you think not making the
Not today.
conference, this is kind of the end of an era press conference that he's always been. And he's good at
Yeah, can you hear me?
He's fired up. He's not tired. He's ready to go. And,
Okay.
and yeah, there's
Hey, Mike.
fun, and there's cheering.
Okay, thank you.
The auditorium here, even still. Players were here. Smith, Josh Schneider is here.
I mean, we can go whenever.
John, who's going to pick the next head coach along
You have
with Lee Allen,
Curtis is here too.
the rest of the organization. But yeah, bittersweet.
Yeah, I don't have IFB, so I'll just let you.
He's not on IFB, so he's just going to take my lead.
Just give me like a 5 second or
All the
something.
way he
Or
wants
kick
too.
me.
You know, the always compete culture and just the way he was such a player's coach. And every player we talked to,
I'm gonna have my phone up because that's where all my quotes and stuff are.
Being somewhere else, said this place is different, and it was all because of Pete Carroll and the way he did the things he did, and of course.